It isn't a stop and arrest list, it's a watch list.
So let's go on now and try to just get some general appraisal of where things are. But there is an enormous question about whether or not the airports around the country will open. Air traffic all across the country. And for a great many international and American planes stranded in Canada at Canadian airports overnight, there is this question as to whether or not the Federal Aviation Administration will open the airports at noon, as we speculated yesterday. Lisa Stark, are you still there?
I am, Peter.
Has the FAA made a decision?
Well, what we're now hearing, all morning the FAA has been insisting that airports will open at noon, except they were saying those in the D.C. and New York area, the Washington, D.C. and New York area. Now we're hearing that the FAA has decided, no, wait, we're not opening the airports at noon. We're not sure when we're going to open the airports. Everything is still on hold. We don't know why the delay, if it's just taking longer to get the security measures in place they want, or if there's some other reason. But apparently now the word from the Federal Aviation Administration is that things will not begin, at least start even, to get back to normal around noon Eastern time. We'll have to keep you updated.
One of the things you said last night, as I recall, was that there was pressure on the FAA by the aviation industry to reinstitute fairly quickly the Air Marshal program. In other words, to get security on all of these aircraft. People are obviously particularly nervous today. Is that part of the delay, do we think?
I don't know. I do know from the airlines I've been speaking with this morning is that they have been waiting all morning for what they call it, the FAA security directive, that would have informed the airlines exactly what measures they needed to take to get the planes back in the air, to get the airports open again. And for some reason, that directive was not forthcoming. They had been waiting for it. They had been expecting it. So there is some delay in finalizing whatever security measures the FAA wants in place before the airports reopen.
Okay, thanks very much, Lisa. We're waiting, as you said, for the Secretary of Transportation, Norman Etta, to come and give us a national briefing, because it's not merely air travel, it is air travel / commerce which is being held up, and you can imagine the imperatives that people have on various planes to get places, to conduct their personal and or private business. But one of the things, all of these air transport systems, namely FedEx and others, United Parcel, they all have aircraft constantly in the air, moving goods all over the country, all over the world, of course, and all that has been held up until the Federal Aviation Administration, or the government in general, makes a decision about whether or not they will fly as of noon today. Looking at Lower Manhattan again, we have with us Marvin Jackson, a commodities trader who was on the 36th floor of the World Trade Center yesterday. Mr. Jackson, thank you for coming in and having a chat with us. Your story is important. What happened?
Well, I guess it was a little before 9. I was in another employee's office when I heard an explosion, and then the building started to shake. And I thought, oh, here I go again, because I was there in 1993 as well, when the bomb went off. So I went around, started back to my section of the office, and I saw a lot of smoke coming out of the elevators. So I walked around to make sure that everybody was leaving, because we heard someone telling everyone to leave, so people were beginning to leave out. And later I went down the stairways, and there was other people going down, so we just walked down the stairways until about, I don't know how far, we saw firemen started coming up, and also they were bringing some injured people down and some people who were having medical problems. So eventually we made it out into the plaza, to the concourse of the building, rather, and the sprinkler system was working, so, they just kept us moving until we were out in the street.
In the wake of the 1993 bombing, was there a plan in progress at your firm? What firm did you work for?
I work for the Commodity Futures Trading Commission.
Right. Was there a plan in place in your office to deal with an emergency were this ever to happen again?